Life is filled with the challenges, and in our moments of struggle, we seek strength from Allah. True success comes to those who remain steadfast in their faith, humble in their prayers, and sincere in their devotion. In Surah Al-Mu'minun 23:1-2, Allah describes the qualities of the believers who will find success. Certainly will the believers have succeeded, they who are humbly submissive in their prayer. This powerful verse reminds us that true strength lies in our connection with Allah, especially in times of hardship. Join me in this blessed morning dua as we seek Allah's guidance, patience, and unwavering faith in difficult times. True success in this world is often measured by material achievements, wealth, fame, or recognition, but the Quran teaches us that true success lies in our relationship with Allah and the strength of our faith. Surah Al-Mu'minun begins by affirming that the believers are the ones who have succeeded. But this success is not based on worldly measures. The success that Allah speaks of is rooted in the inner peace and contentment that come from submission to Him. True success is found in a life that is lived with sincerity, devotion, and a deep understanding that this world is temporary and the hereafter is the ultimate goal. Those who are successful are those whose hearts are aligned with the will of Allah and whose actions are in harmony with His guidance. They find fulfillment in their connection with Him and remain patient and steadfast through life's trials. Allah promises success to the believers, not because of their material accomplishments, but because of their submission to His will. The true believer's success is not the accumulation of wealth or fame, but rather the tranquility of the soul and the closeness to Allah. The trials of life become easier to navigate because their hearts are firm in faith, knowing that their trust is in Allah alone. In times of hardship, the believer's focus is not on the immediate pain or loss, but on the greater purpose that these trials serve in purifying the heart and soul, strengthening their connection with Allah, and ultimately leading to success in the hereafter. In this context, success is not about avoiding difficulties, but about how we respond to them. The believer who relies on Allah in times of hardship is the one who has truly succeeded. The hardship itself becomes a means of spiritual growth, and the believer's reward is in their steadfastness, patience, and reliance on Allah's mercy. When the believer's focus shifts from worldly achievements to spiritual growth, they begin to understand that every challenge, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity for growth and a step closer to Allah. The power of prayer is immeasurable. It is through prayer that we communicate with Allah, seek His guidance, and express our deepest hopes and fears. Salah is not merely a physical act, but a spiritual practice that brings the believer closer to Allah. The Quran commands us to stand before Him with humility, recognizing our weaknesses and submitting to His divine power. Prayer becomes a source of strength, providing solace and a sense of peace in the midst of life's struggles. The true believer understands that prayer is not only an obligation, but a gift from Allah, a direct line to Him that allows us to pour out our hearts and find comfort in His presence. When we approach prayer with sincerity and humility, it becomes a transformative experience. We are reminded of Allah's greatness, His mercy, and His infinite wisdom. Prayer grounds us in the reality that we are not in control of everything, but that Allah's will is always at play, and that His plan is always better than ours. In times of difficulty, prayer becomes an anchor for the soul, a refuge where we can find solace and strength. The believer who turns to Allah in prayer is not simply performing a ritual, but is seeking to strengthen their relationship with their Creator. The act of prayer is an act of submission, a recognition that we are in need of Allah's help and mercy. Humility in prayer is key. It is in the moments when we are most vulnerable, when we acknowledge our need for Allah, that our prayers are most powerful. Allah promises to answer the prayers of those who approach Him with sincerity and humility. When we submit ourselves to Him in prayer, we are reminded of our dependence on Him, and we are reminded that no matter how great our trials may seem, Allah's mercy is greater. Prayer becomes not only a way to seek Allah's help, but a way to find peace in the midst of chaos and strength in the face of adversity. The believer who prays with humility, sincerity, and devotion will find that prayer is a constant source of guidance and support throughout life's journey. When difficulties arise in life, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, lost, or discouraged. However, as believers, we are reminded that trials are a part of life's journey and that they come with divine wisdom. Allah, in His infinite mercy, does not burden anyone beyond their capacity. Each difficulty is an opportunity for us to grow spiritually, to become more patient, more trusting, and more reliant on Allah. When we face adversity, it is natural to feel pain, sadness, or frustration, but these emotions do not define us. What truly matters is how we respond to these challenges and how we turn to Allah for strength. It is important to remember that every trial we face is temporary. Difficult times will pass, and through them we have the opportunity to build resilience and a deeper connection with Allah. The believer who remains patient and steadfast through difficulty will find that the trials become easier to bear. Allah does not leave us alone in our struggles. He is always there, ready to provide comfort, guidance, and strength. When we turn to Him with sincerity, He will support us through our hardships and reward us for our patience. Allah's mercy and guidance are always available to those who seek it, and His help comes at the most unexpected and beautiful times. It is during these challenging moments that we must remind ourselves of Allah's promises. Allah says in the Quran that after hardship comes ease. No matter how intense the difficulty, Allah's mercy will always find a way to alleviate the burden. Our role is to trust in His wisdom and timing, to have faith that He knows what is best for us. In the face of trials, the believer's reliance on Allah becomes their greatest source of strength. It is not our own efforts alone that will carry us through difficult times, but our faith in Allah and our willingness to submit to His will. The trials we face in life are not meant to break us, but to shape us into stronger, more resilient individuals who are more connected to Allah. By remaining patient, trusting, and devoted to Allah, we are reminded that His plan for us is always better than anything we could have imagined. And as we seek strength in prayer, we open our hearts to His guidance and find solace in knowing that Allah's wisdom and mercy are always with us. When we experience hardships, it is easy to feel lost and overwhelmed, questioning the purpose of our struggles. Yet, in Islam, we are constantly reminded that hardship is a natural part of life. It is a means through which we are tested, refined, and given the opportunity to grow. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has designed our lives with trials that serve as a purification process for our souls. Each difficulty we face is an opportunity to become closer to Allah, to increase our faith, and to develop virtues such as patience, gratitude, and trust in His divine plan. The key to overcoming any difficulty is to recognize it as a trial sent by Allah, with a purpose far beyond what we may understand at the moment. In moments of difficulty, it can often feel like the weight of the world is pressing down on us. The pain may seem unbearable, and the challenge is insurmountable. But it is in these very moments that we are called to turn to Allah, for He is the ultimate source of strength and comfort. Allah reminds us in the Quran that after every hardship comes ease, and we must keep this promise in our hearts as we face the trials of life. It is not about avoiding hardship or wishing for an easy life, but about how we respond to the challenges that come our way. Do we surrender to despair, or do we turn to Allah, trusting that He will guide us through the storm? When we face hardship with patience and perseverance, we become stronger individuals, not only in our relationship with Allah, but also in our character. The believer who remains steadfast during trials understands that these challenges are not punishments, but opportunities for spiritual elevation. The difficulties we face are a means of purifying our hearts, teaching us the values of patience, sabah, and gratitude, shukar. By trusting in Allah's plan and relying on His mercy, we grow in resilience and fortitude. Allah does not test us beyond our capacity, and He will never leave us alone in our struggles. Each hardship is a lesson in patience, in recognizing Allah's presence, and in strengthening our trust in His wisdom. Patience during times of trial is not about merely enduring the pain, but about embracing it as part of Allah's plan. It is about maintaining a positive mindset, having the strength to keep moving forward, and trusting that Allah's reward for our patience will be far greater than the hardship we experience. When we turn to Allah with sincere prayers and supplication, we acknowledge our dependence on Him, and He responds by granting us the strength to face whatever comes our way. It is in our moments of vulnerability, when we recognize our weakness and place our trust in Allah, that we receive His greatest blessings. The act of making dua, especially in times of difficulty, is an essential part of the believer's response to trials. It is through dua that we are reminded of our dependence on Allah, and through it, we invite His mercy, guidance, and support into our lives. Dua is not just a form of asking. It is a deeply personal conversation with Allah, a way to express our feelings, our hopes, and our fears. When we make dua, we acknowledge that we cannot overcome our difficulties on our own, and that only through Allah's help can we find relief. Dua is a powerful tool that strengthens the believer's connection with Allah. When we ask Allah for strength, patience, and guidance, we are reminded that He is always present, ready to assist us in our struggles. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that Allah is closest to us when we are in difficulty, and it is in these moments of hardship that we should increase our supplications. By seeking Allah's help, we open ourselves to His infinite mercy and find the support we need to persevere through life's challenges. A believer's dua is not limited to words spoken in prayer. It is a reflection of a heart that is fully reliant on Allah. When we make dua, we are essentially saying, Ya Allah, I trust in your wisdom. I know that you are the best of planners, and I submit to your will, even in this moment of hardship. It is through this act of submission that we find peace, knowing that Allah's plan for us is always better than what we could have hoped for on our own. It is important to remember that Allah's response to our dua may not come in the form we expect. Sometimes, the answers to our prayers may not be immediate or in the way we envisioned, but this does not mean that our prayers have gone unanswered. Allah may delay His response to test our patience, to purify our hearts, or to provide something even greater than what we asked for. Trust in Allah's timing is an essential part of the believer's journey. The key is to remain patient, continue to make dua, and trust that Allah knows what is best for us. Dua, especially in moments of difficulty, is an act of hope, and through it, we reaffirm our belief that Allah is always there to guide us. We may not always understand the reasons behind our struggles, but we trust that Allah's mercy is ever present, and He is always there to support us. When we make dua, we are reminded that we are never alone, no matter how difficult life may seem. Allah's mercy and guidance are closer to us than we can imagine, and it is through our sincere prayers that we open ourselves to receive His divine assistance. By making dua with sincerity, we strengthen our faith, increase our connection with Allah, and find the courage to face the challenges of life with hope and determination. Through every hardship, we must remind ourselves that Allah does not leave us to struggle alone. His mercy is boundless, and His help is always available. It is in our submission to Him, in our patience and perseverance, that we find the strength to endure. When we turn to Allah with a humble heart, seeking His guidance and strength, we become empowered to face life's challenges with unwavering faith. And through every prayer, every dua, we find the support and peace we need to navigate the difficulties of life, trusting in Allah's wisdom and mercy. The path of the true believer is not one free of trials and difficulties, but it is a journey that leads to spiritual growth, inner peace, and ultimate success in both this life and the hereafter. Those who walk this path embody the qualities that Allah praises in the Quran: patience, humility, devotion, and a deep commitment to living according to His guidance. While the road may be difficult at times, the true believer understands that every step on this journey, no matter how challenging, is an opportunity to strengthen their relationship with Allah and to become a better version of themselves. This journey requires not only the desire to seek Allah's pleasure, but also the willingness to endure hardship and persevere through life's tests. One of the most beautiful aspects of being a true believer is the ability to maintain faith even in the face of adversity. Life may present us with challenges that feel overwhelming, but those who remain steadfast in their belief are reminded that these challenges are opportunities for growth. A true believer does not allow difficulties to shake their faith. Rather, they recognize that every trial is a means of drawing closer to Allah. The more a believer goes through hardship with patience and trust in Allah's wisdom, the more their faith is strengthened, and the more they realize the depth of their dependence on Him. Walking the path of a true believer requires maintaining a firm connection with Allah, even during times of hardship. One of the key ways to stay connected to Allah is through regular worship, particularly the daily prayers, Salah. Salah is the foundation of a believer's relationship with Allah. It is not just an act of devotion, but a way to maintain spiritual focus and to seek guidance and strength from the Creator. A true believer recognizes that prayer is not just an obligation, but a lifeline, an opportunity to express gratitude, seek forgiveness, and request Allah's mercy and guidance. Every act of prayer is a reminder of Allah's greatness, and it serves to strengthen the believer's commitment to walk the path of righteousness, even in difficult times. However, the path of the believer is not solely defined by outward acts of worship. It is the inner qualities, sincerity, humility, and a genuine desire to please Allah that define the true believer. When a person's heart is aligned with the will of Allah, their actions reflect this inner state of devotion. A true believer strives to purify their heart, to rid themselves of arrogance, pride, and hypocrisy, and to cultivate virtues that bring them closer to Allah. These virtues include compassion, gratitude, kindness, and a strong sense of empathy toward others. A true believer understands that success in this life is not measured by wealth or status, but by the strength of one's character and their adherence to the values of Islam. The true believer also understands that life is a test, and it is through trials that Allah refines the soul. Life's difficulties are not meant to break us. They are meant to purify us, to teach us patience, and to build our resilience. The challenges we face in life allow us to develop a deeper connection with Allah as we turn to Him for support and guidance. The path of a true believer is not a path of comfort or ease, but one that is filled with opportunities to grow in faith and character. Through every trial, the believer learns to rely more on Allah and to trust that He knows what is best for them. Moreover, walking the path of the true believer requires recognizing that life's difficulties are temporary. Allah promises that after every hardship, there will be ease. A true believer does not dwell in despair during moments of difficulty, but instead, they trust in Allah's promise and remain patient, knowing that relief will come. They also understand that sometimes the hardships they face serve as a means of purification and preparation for something greater. The believer does not judge the moment based on their immediate circumstances, but understands that every moment is part of a larger plan designed by Allah. This trust in Allah's plan is what allows a believer to maintain peace and contentment in the midst of struggle. Patience, a core quality of a true believer, is crucial in walking this path. Patience is not just about waiting for things to get better. It is about maintaining steadfastness in the face of hardship, knowing that Allah is with us every step of the way. Patience requires both inner strength and faith. The believer who exercises patience is one who relies on Allah for guidance and support, never losing hope even when the path seems uncertain. They understand that while the trials of life may be difficult, they will ultimately lead to spiritual growth and closer proximity to Allah. The reward for patience is immense, both in this world and the hereafter. Allah promises that He is with those who are patient and that He will reward them for their perseverance. Another important aspect of walking the path of the true believer is recognizing the importance of gratitude. Even in the midst of hardship, a true believer remains grateful for Allah's countless blessings. Gratitude allows the believer to maintain a positive perspective even during the most difficult times. It is through gratitude that we are reminded of Allah's mercy, His blessings, and His endless grace. A believer who is grateful for the little things, for the moments of peace and joy, and for the opportunities to grow, is able to maintain a sense of hope and contentment even when facing adversity. Gratitude keeps the heart open to Allah's blessings and serves as a reminder that every trial, no matter how difficult, is part of Allah's divine plan. The path of the true believer is also one of service to others. A true believer understands that their actions toward others reflect their relationship with Allah. Acts of kindness, charity, and compassion toward others are not only a reflection of a believer's character, but also a means of earning Allah's pleasure. The believer is encouraged to give, to help, and to support others, especially those who are in need. This sense of service to others strengthens the community and fosters a spirit of brotherhood and solidarity among Muslims. It also serves as a reminder that true success is not about accumulating wealth or status, but about helping others and pleasing Allah. Finally, walking the path of the true believer requires constant self-reflection and a commitment to improvement. The believer understands that they are not perfect and that there will always be room for growth. They strive to become better Muslims, to increase their knowledge, to develop their character, and to enhance their worship. The path of the true believer is one of continual striving and seeking Allah's forgiveness and mercy. It is a journey that never truly ends, as there is always more to learn, more to improve, and more to give. As we continue to walk the path of the true believer, we are reminded that it is not the destination that matters most, but the journey itself. The true believer focuses on their relationship with Allah, on living a life of sincerity, humility, and devotion. It is through this journey, filled with both trials and blessings, that we grow closer to Allah and prepare ourselves for the ultimate success in the hereafter. The path of the true believer is one of continuous striving, of unwavering faith, and of a deep commitment to living in accordance with the will of Allah. And in the end, it is this path that leads to eternal success.